Alrighty, guys. So we'll do a quick recap of the Demolition conference. I was just there over in San Antonio, ironically, my home before my current home, and got to fly back there. That was pretty cool. So it was March the 6th through the 9th, and it was very, very close to the Alamo and Riverwalk, which was a blast. So, speaking of blast, got to meet one of our podcast guests, and they do explosions. They really help demolition companies where they don't have an internal capability of doing explosions. So that was cool. Got to meet a number of really awesome guests that we've had from all over the place, and it was just kind of cool where people were saying, "Hey, we got to talk, we got to catch up," that kind of thing, or just being out and about. And people were like, "Oh, yeah, I know the podcast," or "I don't know the podcast and would love to get to know more about it." Obviously, I'm Chayton. I am the host of Demolition Success Secrets. So, got to represent out there. Got some good business cards, got some really, really good intros for some awesome guests of some massive demolition companies, as well as some really big vendors in the space. So I thought it was a pretty successful trip. I give a lot of kudos to everyone who helped set up the actual conference itself. The live demo was incredible, being able to see the equipment and people got to try it. I was not one of them. I I don't know. I figured I'd leave that to the pros. I'm sure I could have gotten behind some of these excavators, or I could have grabbed one of the really cool futuristic controllers that people are using to be able to control some of these machines. Really amazing stuff. Next year, they're doing it in New Orleans, and I'm sure they'll have the live demo aspect as well, which was just so cool. You're out in a field on a ranch, and there are acres and acres and acres of nothing but amazing demolition equipment. Different kind of ancillary machines and techniques that can be used in the field, and I thought it was super cool. Got some great pictures, got some really, really sweet videos. A lot of capable people there. Really impressive getting to see the conference, competitions that they held, where, whether it was the largest demo deals of the year or whether it was people actually working in the events, being able to go see who's the best and the best of being behind the cab of one of these incredible pieces of equipment. So yeah, I thought the conference was awesome. It was their 50th anniversary. I feel that a lot of people thought it was great. I know certain expos and conferences, people can kind of feel 50-50 about. They sometimes wish that there was some more to it. They thought, something was kind of not super engaging or, really beneficial to them. But in this case, not really. From my experience and from the people that I talked to's experience, they were pretty engaged. They were really, really open to what was being discussed. They would be showing up to the talking tracks and they wanted to learn more. And there certainly was a lot of info demolition wise to be soaked in. I hope that, coming soon, I may be able to speak on the stage. Of course, I can talk about the podcast as well as the marketing that we really focus on for our clients in the demolition world. There's just so much that can be done in the space, meeting some of these big people. They have grown their businesses, through different mechanisms like government work, private work, just word of mouth and referrals, things like that. Of course, with Demolition Marketing Leads, my company that we help demolition companies grow and scale, getting more phone calls, getting more emails, being able to work with more private deals. It's not uncommon for our clients to get 50, 100 opportunities every single month on autopilot, aka they're not doing anything but picking up their phone or checking their email with people who need help. They need their services. They need a pool to be filled in. They need a building to be torn down. It can sometimes just be a home. It could sometimes be an apartment fire. Other cases, it can be industrial parks and well above and beyond that. Have seen some pretty crazy stuff on top of skyscrapers, tearing down some of the top floors so they can build up. But yeah, so much that can be talked about. I look forward to now reaching out to some of the contacts that I met at the demolition conference. I wanted to give everyone a breather because we all know there are a lot of business cards and handshakes thrown around at these sort of conferences, and many times from my personal experience, people can get kind of inundated with calls and emails and texts. I figure, hey, I'm here to really get people on the podcast. I don't really want to compete to that extent with different vendors and salespeople and close interactions with people who are seeing their buddies they haven't seen in a year, sometimes more. I figured I'd kind of come in a little bit later and reach out and catch up with people, and they have a few seconds more, and they're not so inundated with calls, texts, emails, etc. of people who they met up with at the conference. So yeah, all in all, I would say it was a really incredible, awesome experience. Really enjoyed it from a personal as well as business perspective. Definitely, again, really appreciated people making introductions or people just coming up and saying, hey, tell me who you are, tell me what you do. I've seen the podcast, or I will check into it. I'll become a subscriber. I'll give you guys a like, etc. So really, really appreciated you guys coming over. The people who I didn't know, who I would go up to myself, really appreciate everyone at the conference being open and really curious and interested, just as I am. So pumped up to have more of you guys on the podcast. Really excited to give you guys more content every single day. Certainly multiple things a week, and look forward to growing the podcast as well as demolition marketing leads in the industry going forward. Talk soon. Bye.